everyone, it's Dasher Dave here again. I'm back for another crafty video. So, I am aware I've made flowers on this channel before, and I wanted to make some more flowers, but I wanted to show you this technique, which is another super simple way to make flowers. This time we're going to make some roses, and we're going to make them, I think they look quite effective the way they are, and they are super simple to make. Trust me, they are super simple. All you're going to use is use circles to make them. Okay, so how are you going to make the circles? You could freehand cut them, so draw around something and freehand cut them. You could use a circle punch if you've got one. You can use a die cutting machine, or you could use like a Cricut or a Brother or a Silhouette to cut some circles out for you. So really simple. The only thing you're really going to need is you're going to need some cardboard to make them from. So cardboard rather than paper, because they have to have some rigidity to them. And I've used file folders to make mine. Most of mine. This one is made with book pages. Now I'll go through the book page side of things in a second. First of all, let's talk about circles. You're going to need two sizes of circles. You're going to need, so these ones, these three here, these were all made with, sorry, not that one. Yeah, that one. These three were all made with this large size and then this next size down. Okay, this one and this one were made with this size and this next size down, and then this one was made with this size and this size down. Okay, so that's literally how you make them. So what you need is 12 to 13 of the larger ones and 3 to 4 of the smaller ones. Now I say 3 to 4 and 12 to 13 because you might want to add another petal to make it look a bit more realistic, and you can only gauge that by when you're doing it. So that's the reason why there's a slight difference. It's a bit like when you're cooking, you know, you need, you know, might need another pinch of salt in order to make the recipe taste great. So I used file folders, like I say. For these I used a book page. Okay, and all I did was I took a book page and I glued it to a piece of cardboard, let the glue dry, and then used that. So it's literally a piece of book page that's been glued to some cardboard, and that's how I made these. Okay, so I used thinner cardboard because adding the weight of the paper, the book page paper, makes it a bit thicker, although generally it is thinner than the other cardboard. So the file folder cardboard does tend to be a bit thicker. Okay, there is no right or wrong, just don't use paper. You'll find it much harder to work with paper than you will do with card. So let's move these out of the way, and we're going to make a blue one today. Okay, so all I've got is some file folder, and like I say, all I want to do is start punching. So I need to punch out 12 to 13 of this size, and yeah, I may well speed this up for you. There we go, and as you can see, all I used was one of these strips here. This strip measures approximately 5.5 by another number, by about, I wouldn't use the edges here because of a fold in them, but by I don't know, about 13.5. So now we've got all of our discs. What we need to do is we just need to separate the smaller ones out from the large ones. Okay, so I did them so that with the file folders, so you couldn't see any text on them, and I used the text as a feature on the book page one. Okay, but if you wanted to have the text showing, you can do that, it's fine. So all I need to do now is I'm going to take a bone folder, okay, and I'm not going to use it to crease anything. I'm literally going to use it like you would do if you're curling ribbon, as an edge to curl against. And all I'm going to do with this, it's got a good amount of resistance on it, so you can kind of pull against it and curl it. You'll be able to tell from how thick your cardboard is as to whether you can do that or not without it tearing off. If it tears off in your fingers, you've done it wrong. Okay, so, and all we're going to do is we're just going to do that. Going to do that now through everything, and that way then you don't have to sit and watch me curl each one of these individually as we go through. There is some curling to do on them as you go through, but it's much easier if you kind of break the fibers down at this stage, and then there's less to be, you have to kind of roll it in your fingers, so there's less rolling in your fingers to be done, and it's more likely to curl rather than crease. So like I say, just giving it a curl all over. Again, I'll probably speed this up for you. Okay, so now we've curled those up, what we'll need to do is we start with the smaller ones. Okay, so because you've taken them and curled them, pick one that you want to use as the center. In fact, I'm going to use this one because then you're not going to see the text on the back. I'm going to I've curled this side. I'm going to curl the other side now. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to roll this up. So this is going to form the center of our rose. Okay, so all you need to do is you just take one part of it and you're going to curl it, and then you're going to roll it between your fingers, get it going, and then like once it started it'll go. So once you're happy with it, you can just neaten it up and make it a bit tighter if you want to. Okay, so like we have here. Okay, and all we need to do now is we just need to glue that end, that tail end, so that we glue it down. Okay, and when I made these, I just used normal white glue. I'm going to use the art glitter glue for two reasons. A, it's working because the weather is sufficiently warm, well, warmer, it's not below freezing, and it's flowing, and the other reason is because it dries quicker. That's not such a problem when I'm making it off camera, but when I'm making it on camera, you want to be able to see it. Now I'm just taking a pencil. This just happens to be an Apple pencil. I wouldn't use an Apple pencil normally. It was to hand, and I'm just kind of rotating it round. So you're kind of just splaying out the very tip. So if you can see the tip of there, it just curls out ever so slightly, and it just gives it a little bit more of a natural look, like a petal unfurling. Okay, once you know that this is glued down, if it started to split, like sometimes these file folders do split because they're made of a lamination, just glue that other bit down. And don't worry about the glue around there. Once you've curled all the others round, you won't actually see that. Okay, so we've glued that bit down. Okay, we know which way up it is, so this is our top. Okay, then we're going to take the next petal, and what we're going to do is we're just going to roll the very tip of it a little bit more. Okay, so if you can see, like I'm just rolling it and rolling it back on itself just to break those fibers down a little bit more. And then what you're going to do is you're going to curl it this way as well. So all you need to do is you just use your nail to curl it against. If you don't have nails, then just use the edge of some scissors to curl it against. But what you just want to do is just break those fibers down a little bit so that it kind of curls in on itself. Now, when you do this, you'll think, hang on a minute, that looks very triangular. Well, doesn't matter. Once you start curling it round this, that triangular shape will actually build. If you can see this is lots of concentric triangles just shifted on their axis a little bit, which gives it that very natural feel. Most flowers, well, most of the roses are built up of threes, so you get you go 3 round and 3 round and 3 round, and that's why I suggest 4. But sometimes you'll put 2 on and you'll think, no, that's enough. So we're just going to break that bend down a little bit more, so like this. Okay, once we've decided that we're happy with that shape, what we're going to do is we're just going to put a bit of glue on the very bottom edge. I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to glue that round. So you don't want to glue it completely tight. You want to glue it so that it has. It's like having a jacket on. It's okay. So you've made it a jacket. Okay, let's just hold that together. So, well, as you can see, you've got the V-neck of your jacket here, and your collar is around here. Okay, that's what you want it to look like. Okay, and you just want to hold it until it glues. Now, if you've got a peg, okay, then you can use the peg to hold it while you prepare the next piece. If you don't have a peg, you know, you might be able to slot it in the neck of a bottle or something like that, just to hold it enclosed while you get onto the next petal. And again, what we're going to do is we're just going to do the same as we did before. We're just going to curl it, like bending it backwards and forwards. You're kind of breaking those fibers and making it curl, and then we're going to bend it this way, just with my nail. Like I say, you can use the edge of a pair of scissors or whatever. I happen to have nails though, so I don't bite my nails, so I'm lucky like that. It's not that I don't have a stressful job, it's just that I don't like biting my nails. So okay, so then put a bit of glue inside there, and again what you're going to do is you're going to make a jacket, but this time you're going to put it at a third of a way round. So you're going to turn it a third, and then you're going to stick that round. Okay, so this time it'll sit round, and it'll have a much bigger V-neck on this collar. Okay, but that's fine. Okay, you'll start to see that as you build it up, that gap will get wider, so these won't meet in the middle on the next time round, and then they won't meet in the middle at all on the time after that. So any glue that you just need to add, just do that a little bit at a time, and you're just going to hold it, like I say, stick it back in the peg, and then we're going to do the same with the next petal. Okay, so it starts to get a little bit different as you get further out. So the way that you roll the petal will be different the further out you go. So I would suggest that you don't. Oh, let's curve that. I would suggest that you don't roll all the petals like this. You'll see what I'm going to do as I go, but I would suggest that you don't roll them all, otherwise you'll find yourself thinking, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. Okay, and then again, you just, this time round, we're not going to curl it until we've placed it. So we're going to put it where we want it. We want it to kind of sit there, so it's again a third turn. And what we want to do is I just want to bend that a little bit more so that it sits round a little bit better. Okay, yeah, so like that. Okay, so like you see now, it's a bit like me. My coat doesn't button up because I've eaten too much. So I'm going to pop that in there with the join inside there at about a third turn. It's very fiddly now. It's very hard for me to do it so that you can see. There we go, like that. Okay, we're just going to keep that closed. Okay, so what I might do is I might set up the other camera. So hopefully you can see that now in my other camera. You can see what I'm doing. So as you can see, it's not perfect, but the more you build it, the less you will notice that. Okay, so now we're going to move to the next one. This time we've gone for a large one. We're going to now curl it in the same way to start with. And we're just breaking those fibers down in our fingers, so that we're curling it on itself and back, on itself and back. Okay, and that just breaks it all down. Okay, Then we're going to bend it this way, so we're just going to do that with our nail. And now when we're bending it, we're going to bend it so that what we'll do is we'll bend the petal down on one side, and then we're going to bend it on the other side as well. So I'm just going to curl it round a little bit on the other side, and that way then you get this kind of a point with a bit of a dimple in the end. It doesn't matter if the dimple isn't there, don't worry about that. Okay, but we're going to use that now to our advantage, because that will start to now look like a petal unfurling. Okay, so as you put it round, you can see bits of it will stick out and other bits will curl under. That's absolutely fine. That's what you want it to look like. And remember, it's not going to be the same every time. It will be very organic. It's just how the paper bends, how you've manipulated it. Don't expect them to look like carbon copies of each other, because they won't be. And nothing is imperfect, because that's nature. It's supposed to be like that. So there you go. So you see how it's kind of bent on itself, and some parts of it aren't so bent. That's fine. So the technique is, though, just to make sure that you hold it still while it dries. If you let go of it, it will just unfurl itself. Okay, there we go. So that's that bit. Okay, I'm just going to pinch that together. In fact, that's not actually staying, so I'll put a bit of glue. Like I say, you might need to reassess glue as you go, and that's fine. It's better to put more on than to try and take some off. Okay, then again, we're going to do the same with this petal. Okay, we're going to roll it between our fingers, bending it, and this time we're going to curl round a bit more. We're just bending it between our fingers, just rolling it. And rolling it this way, and just generally giving it a bit of a shape. Okay, then we're going to stretch it, the bottom part, with a nail, just to make it curl. So you're making it curl in different ways. So this bit is the bit where it's going to wrap around the body of the petal, and this bit is the thing that's going to form the petal itself. Okay, the edge of the petal. So okay, so you might have decided, oh, I really like that shape, but when you wrap it round, it might not be that shape. So don't put yourself under any pressure by thinking, oh, it has to look like this. I wanted it to look like that. Let it just form. Trust me, flowers don't get upset by the way that they look. Humans need to take a leaf out of their book about that. So, okay, and this time we're going to turn it. We're going to put it again round at like a third turn. Okay. So you see how we've got one here, and we've got one here, and then the next one will sit round here. And that's what you're doing all the time. You're just turning it a little, turning it a little. If you think it needs to bend down a bit more, bend it down a bit more. That's fine. And you can kind of shape it as you go anyway. So again, we're just going to clip that in there. Your peg might start to get too small at this point. Again, we've curled that bit there. We're just going to curl it a little bit over here. Don't worry if it bends like this and it creases. It, as long as you're not making it perfectly flat, you'll be all right. So, and if it's an odd shape like that, that's great, brilliant. There is no right or wrong. So, and it's just again a case of just layering and layering and layering. Okay. So I will continue to do this. I'll probably speed the video up for you. So I'm just going to wrap that around there. And now we're going to hold it. And see how we're building it now. So as you start to get out further and further, then you actually want to start having more of the petal showing. So you're having it sprayed out, so you see the lot more of the surface area the further out you get. Just like if you look at a real rose, that will be exactly the same. It will be much less tight around the sides. So, and just like this one is, looks like this one is pushing this one out, and that's just what would happen on an actual petal. Okay. And the circles, you can't really tell that they're circles. Well, I don't think you can tell that they're circles anyway. So you would never know that this was made out of just circles. People will be saying to you, oh, "Where did you get the pattern for that from? Is that one of those cricket ones?" No, it's not. It's just a circle. Dave showed me how. And you can make it out of absolutely anything. So you could use. I've used this technique for making roses. The rose that I put on my top hat, the Mad Hatter's top hat journal, that was made of a playing card that was half painted red. So think out of the box. Think about all the other things that you can make. What I do like about the file folder makes are that, especially for these roses, they're very much like a rose. So almost velveteen in its finish, because it's that fibrous board. Some of the cardboards can be a little bit too refined, too perfect, if you like. And that's what I like about the file folder, is that whole buff sort of finish to it. Okay, so you just want to, as you're putting them on, you just want to place it, see if you like the way that it sits there, and then reshape it if you need to. Once you've made a few of them, you'll just get used to making the shape just feel right. So I'm not having to reshape these very much, because I kind of know what shape I want as they go around the outside. And like I say, they will all be different. They will all look complete unique. They may not be symmetrical, and they may not have a perfect center, but you know what? They are beautiful. They look just like real roses because of their imperfection. So. And if you now look at the underside, you'll see that then I'm not placing them all in the same sort of place. Sometimes it's a bit further up, sometimes it's a little bit further down the base of it. This one's further up because I want it to stick out a bit more. I want these to be, the last few, to be really on the very edge and to look like they're really unfurling, almost like they're bending back on themselves. And don't go for that symmetry. Go for things like that are just a little bit, on the wonk. Trust me, this rose will not mind about it looking like it's on the wonk. And I really think there's beauty in this, in the using things that you wouldn't expect a rose to be made out of, like a file folder, for instance. It's that whole. You could make them out of craft card, or bits of old 12 by 12 that you've got lying around that you might not like the pattern on it, but you can you know, once you've made it, you might think that the rose looks beautiful. You might not like the pattern, but like as a finished article, it might be completely different, and you'll just love it. You'll fall in love with it all over again. There's a reason why you bought that 12 by 12 paper, and perhaps it was to make some roses with. Who knows? Not enough glue on there. That's the good thing about a fine tip glue stick. Well, a tube of glue is being able to just get in those little tight spaces and add a little bit more if you need it. I think we're going to have that one over here somewhere. Again, just rolling it in my fingers. I'm going a bit further down on this one because I want it to be really sticking out. And like I say, on this one I cut 12 out. Did I cut 13? I can't remember. But if you think that you need more, then do more. Yeah, I'm going to put it there. If you want to keep going and it, you know, be completely, I can't even remember where I was going to put it there. I think it was, yeah, there or there. I think I'm going to go there actually. Yeah, so if you want to keep going and gradually fan it out more at the back, then do that. You know, if you want more of like a cabbage rose style, then that's what you would get if you keep going. Okay. And do I want a last one? Yes, I think I'm going to have an extra one on the back of it. So, like I say, there's no right or wrong to the numbers that you want. You just have to gauge it. And it's just the one extra one that I want, so okay. This one I'm just going to manipulate between my fingers, and don't worry if you put a crease in it either. If you look at a rose petal, they will also have creases in them. Nature doesn't iron. Well, nature's on my side. I don't iron either. So. If I did ironing, I wouldn't have any time to craft. So I'd rather iron, thanks. Okay, I'm just going to hold that in place. And then we're done. Oh, yeah, that's great. So there we go. So really simple, but very effective. Just made from circles. That's something everybody can do. Everybody has the ability to make circles, with your freehand cutting them or you're, you know, doing them on a machine. But this smaller one, you know, they are much flatter. They would look great. A few of them grouped together just on the front of a journal would be absolutely fantastic. And I really do love the file folder finish on these. Can you see that? So the file folder really does make it look very rose-like because of the finish to it. So give them a go. And let me know whether you do. Give them a go and let me know. He has to rhyme. No, he doesn't. All right, so that's it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that's something a bit different that you might give a try of. I'd really love to know if you have given it a try. I'd love to know if you've shared it with somebody you thought, oh, actually, they might like to make these. And you know, all I ask of you is to give this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and you know, come and find me on Ko-fi, where I'm going to start uploading some free images for people to, well, templates and things. There are 2 templates already on there from the previous video, but that's where you'll find all of my freebies and things. There'll be some, I'm going to be uploading some digitals to there, some free digitals, and that's all coming soon. So yes, as the channel expands, I'm expanding. Well, my waistline is definitely expanding. So anyway, folks, that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you'll give it a go, and I hope to see you all in the next video. So you all take care. Remember, I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to. And I'll see you all soon. Take care. And lots of hugs. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye. I've got to stop 2 videos now.